How's it going, Revivalists? Simon here from CD Revival once again, and today I'm going to do a new album review. If you've watched my channel, you know that I'm a big fan of like rock, metal. That's my main kind of listening preference. But today I'm going to review the new album from the Arctic Monkeys entitled "The Car," and this is not that style of music, but yeah, one of my favourite bands still. Like very yeah, great English band. They've changed their style many times throughout the years. Obviously the first album's kind of indie rocky, you know, pretty good. Second album, they progressed throughout the years. They went into like a more of a desert sound with Josh on producing on Humbug. Massive selling AM album with things like Are You Mine and Do I Want to Know on it, and they started to sort of do a few different sounding things on there as well. The last album, Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, completely changed their style, went for more of a sort of jazz loungy sort of sound. Was quite like jarring at first, you know, how different it was, but over time, you know, in fact, it's one of my favourite albums of theirs. I think it's it demands repeated listens, but once you've listened to it a few times, it really sinks in, and is a really superb album. I've actually ranked my all of their previous albums, which you can catch on my channel. I'll leave a link for it at the end of the video. So that leads us on to The Car, which came out on Friday the 21st of October, and I'll let you know what I think of it. Once again, it's quite a lo-fi sound. Similar, on first listen, it's similar to Tranquility Base. It's got a similar sort of sound to it, but it is quite different. Whereas Tranquility Base was more sort of piano led, and there's a few sort of different tracks on there, things like She Looks Like Fun, and yeah, even like things like 4 Out of 5, and the title track there, a bit more, I don't know, traditional, but still, you know, loungy. This one is, as I say, it's a very different album. It's a lot less sort of verse, chorus. It's more just a song with like a build up. There's a lot of strings on it. It's very strings based, very orchestral in a lot of ways, but quite subtle. Production on it's fantastic. Yeah, I think it's a really good album. I'll go through it track by track, and then I'll give my final verdict. First track, There Better Be a Mirrorball, was the first single, and yeah, it's a good opening track, I think. Starts off very understated with like the strings and the sort of piano, and then kicks in really cool like romantic style vocal. Strings washing at the end. It does take a few listens to sort of get into this one, but I think it's a very good song, very nice and easy to listen to. Track 2, I Ain't Quite Where I Think I Am. This is a slightly more up-tempo one. They played this live a few times. I think it's probably the first track they ever played from this album. It's got quite a funky bass line on it, and sort of a 70s wah guitar. Definitely sounds very 70s. The strings kind of come in sort of towards the middle and the end. I don't think it's one of the strongest ones on here. I say it is more up tempo, but it's a decent track. Track 3, Sculptures of Anything Goes. This one's probably the most different one on the album, I think. It's got a very dark sound, a really dark, ominous sound. The drums I put through are like yeah, they've got effects on the drums basically. It's like, sounds like timpani or something. It's quite industrial sounding almost. Subtle strings at the end, but yeah, quite a dark sounding track. Really good though. Really enjoy this one. Track 4, Jet Skis on the Moat, is like a 70s soul, like this piano led like wah guitar. He sings in falsetto on this one. Sings in falsetto on quite a lot of the album actually. There's no, yeah, like really like shouty vocals. He doesn't do really shouty vocals anyway, but it's all very subtle vocals. Say he does falsetto on this one and quite a lot of the tracks. It's got like a Hammond organ bit that comes in the end nicely. Definitely one for the headphones, this one as well, because I've listened to it a lot of times now, probably 8 to 9 times I would say at least, out in the van when I'm driving in the day. And yeah, I listened to it on headphones for the first time last night. You hear a lot of things on the headphones that you don't hear necessarily when you're, you know, not listening to it on the headphones. So yeah, well worth yeah, putting the headphones on and having a good listen to it on there. Track number 5, Body Paint. There's another video for this one. This is probably my favourite song on the album. Starts off piano bass once again, falsetto vocals, some nice subtle strings. Guitar kind of comes in halfway through. It's got a really nice bit of guitar work at the end of the track as well. Yeah, definitely it's catchy. It's just a really good track, this one. Then we go to the Car, track 6, which is a very sort of Ennio Morricone-esque. I think it sort of conjures up for me that sort of 70s Western almost sort of soundtrack. Sweeping strings on this one, really nice guitar solo at the end of this, but yeah, it's got that kind of very Ennio Morricone feel to this one. Good track. Big Ideas, number 7, is an understated track with sweeping strings on it once again, some nice guitar at the end. A really nice track. A lot of, yeah, the strings really take over on this one. It's a good one. Track 8, Hello You, is probably the poppiest track on there. It's a little bit Tranquility Base-esque. It would probably fit on that album, I think. It's got a really nice finish on it as well. Then we've got Mr. Schwartz, which starts off with an acoustic guitar, nice and quietly. Then it goes into a bit of a, I think it's a bossa nova beat. Don't, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on that one, but I think that's pretty much what it is. Sort of shuffles along, strings take over near the end. It's an interesting track, and yeah, I like it a lot. And then track 10, Perfect Sense, is string led once again. It's probably my least favourite on the album, that one. It finishes it off, and it's a bit of a very understated track to finish off. So, but it's still enjoyable. I say it's from start to finish. It's a very enjoyable track, enjoyable album to listen to. Very easy to listen to, and it sort of begs you to hear it again and again and again. And so I've listened to it on repeat over and over. It's only 37 minutes long as well, so it's not too long. And by the time it's finished, you wanna hear it again. You're singing all the tracks in your head, like, you know, when you're not listening to it. It's just a really strong album. So I've done my ranking on there, but I think for me it's one of my favourites. It's so new that, you know, it needs to sort of sink in a little bit more, but I would definitely rate it in my top 3 of their albums, I think. Yeah, very good indeed. Lyrics on there are typical Alex Turner, certainly similar to his last album. Clever, like, bring up some, like, you know, good images and things in your head, but don't necessarily, I've not really made complete sense of what he's actually talking about, because yeah, it's quite sort of obscure. But yeah, there's some nice images he paints with his wording. I say the band are all on really good form. Obviously, Glenn Helder's his drumming is very understated. It's not, you know, obviously he's a great rock drummer, but he plays it down on this one once again. Some really nice guitar work when it comes in, and the bass is just sort of always underlying and nice as well. Some good bass lines. But yeah, really string-led album, and it just kind of washes over the whole album, brings it a really nice, just a pleasant, really nice sheen all over it. 100% my album of the year so far. Let's say there's not much of the year left, but yeah, easily my favourite album that I've listened to this year. 5 out of 5, no question. Really stunning, like just a stunning album. Excellent. So if you're a fan of Tranquility Base, I definitely recommend you pick it up. If you heard that and didn't like it, it might not be the one for you, but I would like that album. You need to give it repeated listens. You need to listen to it over and over again, because it's not instantly accessible. Even though it's nice to listen to, you're not going to get it straight away. It will take you time to sort of get into it, because I say it's not your standard verse chorus, you know, I bet you look good on the dance floor style of thing. It's, yeah, definitely you need to listen to it and like understand it, and yeah, it's twists and turns. There's a lot going on, and it's well worth your time to do that. I would definitely suggest. So yeah, 5 out of 5 review. let's say, album of the year for me so far. Totally. It's had, you know, a few decent competition, but yeah, 100% is, there's no question in my mind that it's my favourite thing of the year. So yeah, that was Arctic Monkeys The Car, my review. So if you're interested in my ranking, check that out on my channel, and please like and subscribe to my channel as well. So say it does help out massively, and I will catch you all next time, probably for my Faith No More ranking video, which will be up in the next couple of days. So if you click the bell icon, you'll be notified of when that one is up. Thanks very much for watching, and you take it steady. Cheers.